Welcome to the Radical Job Shop Show, where leaders of some of America's most vital and under-the-radar small businesses go deep and get gritty about what it takes to build a bold, profitable, and impactful shop. I'm your host, Emily Joann Wilkins, founder of Marketing Metal, the anti-agency that helps machine shops, fabricators, and custom equipment builders craft a radical brand that leaves behind a legacy. Thanks to our friends at Creston Industrial Sales, who've backed our mission since day one, we were able to kick things off live at the Advanced Manufacturing Expo in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Our first episode was a totally unplanned conversation with the one and only Tony Gunn, the worldwide machinist. As the voice of MTD CNC, which has almost 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, Tony has recorded interviews with hundreds of shop owners around the globe, giving him tons of insight into what makes a shop truly great. So, without further ado, this is the Radical Job Shop Show.
What is the name? Radical Job Shop Show?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like the word radical.
I work with shops that are doing things different.
They're doing rad things.
Standing out. Yeah, they're awesome and out there crushing it. And you're in shops all the time. So what do you think makes shops radical? What are the ones that stand out to you?
Two opposite ends, I think. One is the ones who have adapted all the latest technology because I'm fascinated by things that I didn't do when I was a machinist.
Right.
And then the opposite end of that where they have almost nothing and they're turning chicken shit into chicken salad. You're like, how did you do that? That's incredible. You made what they made on $1 million machine on a manual machining center. Like,
Yeah, right.
that's incredible.
Shops.
Two split opposite ends. I'm always just a little bit blown away. Really enjoy those moments.
What other similarities do you notice or differences between shops and how they do things?
Everyone's unique in their own way. I think you've seen that as well.
Totally.
Because we adapt to what we're kind of, I won't say forced to do, but the industry demands that we're creative on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And so if you're in a machine shop a certain amount of time, you have your own tweaks and tribal knowledge within that shop that makes you the best version of yourselves. And not a lot of times, at least traditionally, do people open their doors to share that information. So anytime we get invited in, we're seeing a unique perspective of how someone has decided to do something for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And it's all creative. It's all fun to apply. But I don't know how many NDAs you've signed. I've signed a lot, so I can't go into too many details about some of that creativity. But yeah, machining is cool. We're going through a time right now, Emily, where there's a lot of, let's say, hesitation on purchasing, right? I'm not sure when this will be released, but chances are by the time it is, the tariffs aren't going to be gone altogether. So there's some hesitation. There's some, we would love it. We'd love for it to iron itself out. But it's a probability it's not going to be there by the time this is released unless we release it like years from now. In which case, we're all trying to figure out how to do things better and faster and more cost effectively. As engineers, have always been a very resilient people. I think that's what makes us proud of what we make, because it's almost like that very cliche statement of turning the impossible to I'm possible. Yeah. That's what we do every single day is we turn impossible into I'm possible. So despite the difficulties of anything that's going on in the world, machinists have always figured out how to make stuff. And that's what makes me proud to be a part of this industry. And that's what I see on a regular basis.
That's why I chose to work with job shops specifically. I have lots of interests outside of manufacturing. It's hard to say, like, I'm only going to work with these specific type of people, but I'm so glad that I made that decision. I'm learning new things all the time. I love hearing their stories. They're brilliant, resilient people. Like,
we can say we are brilliant, resilient people, right?
Yeah.
We're part of that community.
We are, totally. Yeah.
I'm a little bit, okay, I love this industry. But you said I love other things as well. And I continue to pursue those things. Like I launched a natural healing company. I'm still surfing during hurricanes, hiking waterfalls, chasing all the natural medicines. Like, I love machining. I'm deeply ingrained into this world. I love spending time with you and the people behind the camera. I mean, look at that sexy man. Who doesn't want to spend time with Jim? Right? Are you kidding me?
Hello.
How you doing? How you doing? It's more than a photo bomb. It's live video bombing.
Have you guys seen the little...
I haven't had the chance to walk around yet. too busy.
Yeah.
Need to walk around. I think I'm supposed to do that and then like soon.
Yeah. It caught me off guard to just see
What
the
is
robot
it?
walking around.
It's a
It's like the size of a child. It was following the dog, like kid would walk their dog.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. This show is instantly better when she shows up.
Everything's better when Sammy shows up.
And now the edit team put emojis like the Emoji Movie, the one that keeps changing. We love Sammy. Sammy's amazing.
Shout out to Mission Design and Automation.
So where were we, young lady? Expanding beyond manufacturing because we have so many other hobbies, right? I will be turning 50 soon. I am grateful for my health. Yep. I've been doing this manufacturing thing for a long, long time. Started as a machinist for 12 years, international consulting for a decade, and been doing the media thing for a little while now. But I have so many pursuits. I've written a couple of books. I was a hip hop artist for about a decade. I was a professional soccer player for a little bit. I've gone through a lot of trials. I was homeless for a while. Pneumonia suffocated and killed me in the hospital. Started a natural healing company. List goes on and on about this crazy roller coaster of life. I like to apply it to being able to live a very vulnerable, transparent, authentic life. And I think, hopefully, that allows other people to do the same when we have conversations like this. Because if I can be brave enough to allow people to see the true version of who I am, then maybe they can remove some of the walls and barriers that they've built to protect themselves and share a true, honest piece of who they are as well. I think that's what gives you and I the gift to have these types of interviews.
Yeah, it's so important in today's world where people are just afraid of everything and they're just getting fed fear monger constantly about the state of the world and dividing us against each other. Really, we're all human, and when we have conversations like this, it just takes all the walls down, like you said.
Yeah,
so important.
I haven't watched the news in 20 years. I don't scroll any of the bullshit social media pages like Facebook. I'm a uniter and not a divider.
Yep.
We have far more in common than we will ever have different. If you're going to look for the 1% of negative that's going to make us different, we can fight, but I don't fight. I'm just going to hug you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to look for the 99% of good, and we're going to figure out how to be friends. This is how I want to live my life. And it doesn't always work out that way, but as a general rule, then whenever you're ready to live that way, my hug is still available. I've worn that sign on the street before. Drawn it on a cardboard box, free hugs.
Love it.
What future tech are we looking towards that we might be close to truly utilizing, but maybe not right this second? That's a tough one, Emily. And I say it's tough because the immediate thing that I think pops into everyone's head is AI. Because we want to utilize it. Everybody's taking an angle on it right now. Most of us are pretty bad at it, I would say, unless you're really in it all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many bullshit posts I see on social media now that are 100% ChatGPT. I'm like, you don't even know that shit.
No.
At least use like 50% ChatGPT and then put your own personality in there. So we see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful and fortunate to work with some of the leading machine monitoring, ERP, AI involved companies right now. So I lean toward that. I lean toward that being my answer because I don't know what the future holds, but I know that it's changing things quickly. I know we're learning more about our shops than we've ever known before. We're taking tribal knowledge and applying it to real life. We now understand what the walkaway time is for a bathroom break or a cigarette break or the fact of setup and breakdown times, machine spindle utilization time. We know exactly how long it takes a robot to pick up a part and move it and put the pallet change system into play for your pallet changes that are moving into this. What is our true legitimate uptime of our spindle, which allows us to truly then quote our customers effectively and say, this is our price point based on what we know. And you don't just have to trust us, but look at the algorithm. This is proof that we have that we're not ripping you off. We need to have value for our work as well. You need to respect that work, but we're doing it in a respectful way so that everyone wins. I don't know the ultimate result. We use this term in robotics all the time. Dull, dirty, dangerous, dainty. I know AI is going to remove that. For people out there right now who are saying AI is going to take our jobs, yeah, it's taking some jobs, but it's taking the dumb jobs. It's taking the jobs we don't really want to do that we're complaining about mundane stuff. Let them have that. Yeah. Live your life. Get a little bit more educated. Say for every robot cell that's set up, 7 jobs are created. Think about that. So instead of be a negative Nancy, be a positive Pete. Is that a thing? Take the opportunity to remove the mundane, the dirty. Don't hurt your back anymore lifting parts. Let the robots do that. Let AI take over hand delivering that manila folder that we're and losing it. Let the data take care of all of that.
Yeah.
That's my answer to what the future holds. But I think a lot of that is actually now also. I think those who are willing to adopt it, and here's another thing that I think is important to understand as I'm starting to ramble now, Emily, and I apologize, is the majority of the stakeholders, the majority of the money, and I'm going to be a little bit offensive, and I apologize for those boomers out there who are adopting technology. I apologize to you ahead of time. Awesome, because it's getting ready to happen. The general rule, the people that have the stock, that have the money, that are the business owners, are part of a generation that are not as open to change as we would like them to be, certainly not at the rapid rates that we're in now, right? You think about that. Gen Xers, which is my generation, and I'm not just here to blow smoke up my own butt, but Gen Xers, we went from being scared to call our girlfriends because dad might pick up and having no caller IDs to seeing the evolution of everything in AI within a 20-year span of the 90s to now. We have been born and bred to adapt. We don't know it all, but we don't keep an ego that says we refuse to take it on either. That's important to understand. So as we become those people, we are open enough to say the 20-year-old kids know more about AI because they were born with cell phones in their hand and technology in their hand. So let's partner together to take what we think might be some of the future, as Jim mentioned and you mentioned, Emily, but make it now and apply it now. So that's when the U.S. manufacturer and the machine shops, I believe, are going to stop being a little bit stagnant, a little bit hesitant, and start embracing what needs to happen immediately for all the reshoring that we're trying to do, and it's a little bit with all the tariffs forcefully trying to do. That's a little bit of my soapbox thing. It's a lot of what people are talking about right now. It's a question I get asked semi-often, and being a part of a generation that gets to see it from all the different angles, being into all the radical machine shops, but also sitting on the beach by myself, enough time to meditate and spend time alone and think about what's real and what's right and what's going to be good and what makes sense to our souls. All of this combination is we need to work together. We have to adapt technology, and we need to do it quickly.
Yeah, and I think one of the last things you said is so key to that. It's good for our soul. That's where that's where I get really excited about the customers that I work with. I mean, they care about their communities, their teams. They care about something bigger than just making art.
That's why we do what we do, right? We want to be of service to an industry that's invisible to help make it visible.
Yes, totally. Yeah, helping them tell their story and starting out there and sharing, because like you said, the more you share, the more the walls come down. What is one thing that the leaders in the manufacturing space are getting wrong about humans and how they interact with humans?
Can be a controversial answer and question. What do we have right now in between 20 and 70 years old? Is it 5 different generations, more or less? Yeah, 5 different generations, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different personalities in that. The middle group kind of gets along. Yeah. And as with most pendulums as they swing, the opposite ends bump heads. So I would say that the majority of the leaders would be considered the ones who have done it the longest. Although there's some great leaders that are a bit younger. The majority rule, as I try to speak in majority rules, they would be considered the ones that have done it the longest. So I think oftentimes we hear they're lazy, they don't want to work, they're not willing to work with their hands. They don't want to come into a job shop. They want to flex schedule. All of these things that we've learned over the last few years that are possible and can be practical, but not traditional. And so if it's not traditional and we need to adapt, there's other generations that aren't easy at adapting. So there's a lot of misconceptions. And then in the opposite direction, we hear stubbornness, no ability to adapt, not willing to learn, they can't teach an old dog new tricks. And that's not always true either. I was quite literally at a facility with one of the legends in our industry, around 70 years old, working with the most brilliant 20-year-old kid I've ever met, adopting AI and working together. So when we do this, when we allow that to happen, this is where we can come together. But you ask, what are some of the misconceptions or what are some of the leaders think? I think that's because there's so many. If you think about history and the progress throughout history, to my knowledge, and maybe someone will leave a comment and let me know that I'm wrong, and that's fine, please do. To my knowledge, the last 100 years, the last 50 years has been quicker than anything in written books. I mean, I don't read Sanskrit, so I don't know what happened during the age of the Egyptians and the Mayans and whatever was going on during Sanskrit times.
I know a few words.
Right. I bet you do. But as a general understanding, it's moving quicker than ever before. So if it's moving quicker than ever before, and we have 5 generations, as we've labeled and deemed to be certain things, every 5 years, every 10 years is a completely different version of a human that's learning in a different way. I couldn't imagine being in high school or college and having to go through COVID. None of these things that I would normally be able to do.
Right.
This gives you a different perspective on how you're going to go into work and do work. It's not something I can be a part of because I live in South Florida and we were doing whatever we wanted after 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we didn't care about the rules. But most people were confined to their bedrooms, not being able to do it, scared shitless, and not able to go to school and participate in community activities. That leads to a different breed of a human being. So this is a really long-winded way to describe what some of the misconceptions might be, but the fact that ultimately what we need to do is just try to understand each other better. To listen, to learn, to empathize.
Everyone has a different perspective because we all live different lives and we've all had different experiences. And the only way to come together is to listen and understand each other.
Agreed.
Try to understand each other.
Do the best we can.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to have everything in common, but if we at least try, you know, open the doors, open the windows, and give a listening ear. You know, too many barriers. Leave those barriers behind.
Well, you heard it right here from Tony Gunn.
Or Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello, because this is totally radical, dude.
Totally radical.